All right, it's finally here. This actually came in the other day. Today's a Sunday, so we're just gonna get it open and make sure nothing is broken, but so excited. Whoop. How's that for team lift? Don't try this at home. Whew. So it doesn't feel as heavy as the K2, I think. So it's doable. Quick start guide. All right. Okay, so the shell feels plastic versus the K2 back here. This has like a metal exterior frame. So that could be why it's lighter. I'm quite curious how this compares to like the K2. Granted, the K2 only is a single nozzle and this is a dual nozzle, but this is like, I think $1,000 more than the K2. So I'm quite curious to see like the quality and how it prints and everything being a larger printer than the X1C. But I love my X1C and P1S and A1, so I'm not doubting the quality. But again, until you use it, you just don't know. And the build plate's a little bit smaller than the K2. You're also a little limited because of the dual nozzle, I believe, but we'll figure that out in a minute. So these windows appear to be glass. That's for sure glass. Okay, that is definitely glass. Oh, please do not place any objects on the automatic top vent. So this must just open. Okay, fancy. Okay, let's get this out of here and then I'm gonna call it a day and then we'll take this apart tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure nothing was broken or damaged before I dove into this thing. Accessory kit. I should probably look at the quick start guide before I get ahead of myself here. So the AMS2 looks quite similar to the regular AMS. Pretty sure this one works as a dryer as well. All right, well, everything appears to be fine. So far it looks pretty cool. So setup so far is pretty similar to all the other printers. You just undo a couple little Allen key screws in the bottom here, take out the plastic, and then I'm going to cut these zip ties in a second, but I'm just taking a look at this kit here to show you what comes with it. And as it should, we have an extra nozzle, some extra cutters, some grease, camera privacy cover, nozzle blocker, and just a bunch of other spare parts. And this looks like a blade for the scraper you can print. So I am super excited for this printer. I feel like it's been getting a lot of hate online. I'm not sure why, if it's just because of people just disliking Bambu for whatever reason. Kind of like the Ford and Chevy truck thing. They're both good trucks, but you can only have one. Okay, so let's cut these zip ties. Bambu did send this to me. I opted for the non-laser version. Personally, that's just not something I'm interested in. And I have other lasers. And I feel like if you're starting to add laser jobs to your business, I would buy a dedicated diode laser. They're not overly expensive. So I would rather not have it attached to my 3D printer, but if that's something that speaks to you, by all means, get the laser version. I haven't watched any YouTube videos on this, so I don't know everything that's going on with it. I saw like the initial launch and all that kind of stuff and all the sneaky leaks, but I still have to do some looking around to see what this all offers. And I'm glad they added, like, the dual head's not for everybody. If you don't want the dual head, you can just buy the K2 or buy the X1C. But I think it's really cool. The dual head also differentiates itself from the K2 because that came out 6 to 8 months ago, and it's a little bit bigger, has more so the same features, it just doesn't have the dual head. So I'm glad this is in a little bit different league of its own. Watch Creality come out with a dual head in a couple months. Would not surprise me one bit. Like just the head on here is just insane. So we no longer have carbon rods. It has this linear rail deal. Okay, so we have the linear rail versus the X1C is the carbon rods. Also in here we can see dual extruder, poop chute, foam. This looks like a filter. Down here looks like the heated chamber. And I also saw that this light bar here shows the progress of your print. So if your print's 50% of the way, this will illuminate like halfway, then like a loading bar, which is a pretty cool touch. This just appears to be auxiliary fan. Okay, let me double check the instructions here to make sure I don't mess anything up. Cut the zip ties. There's still some foam in here, but I don't think I can get those out till the bed goes up. Install the AMS. Okay, let's do that. And this AMS2 also works with the other printers as well. Okay, so the AMS2 Pro does dry, and they made it sound like it works more like a dehumidifier than just something that just heats up and dries the filament. So excited about that. Oh, okay, check this out. So I like how here we have easy access to these cables. Because I've had things get stuck in these cables before with like brittle filament, and it's just a pain to take this all out and, you know, clear the issue. Versus here, this is all easy access. So I'm wondering, TFT tube. You still have desiccant here. Where does the desiccant go? So they just go back in there where they were. Oh, there is little holes in them, okay. I think that's right. Okay, then this roller and feeding system looks similar to the old one. It looks so small on top of this massive machine. So this must go here. Okay, so we do have a side roll. Appreciated. TPU filament inlet. Air pump inlet. I wonder if that's for the laser. So I'm pretty sure you can run this off another AMS too. Okay, we also have this safety key, which is interesting. I could see for the laser, but for the 3D printer, it seems overkill. Plug this in, and then I'll have to link this to my Bambu Handy app. Oh, and these are 110 specific machines. Time for the first power on. I'm always a little bit afraid of the first power on. Oh, I didn't plug it in. Idiot. The display looks maybe a little bit bigger. Ooh, you see that bar lighting up down here? We have a lot more light in this one than the X1C. English. So yeah, the bar down here looks pretty cool. Okay, let's get this rolling up here. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is this screen looks like super clear. It does look like an improvement over the X1C. Okay, let's connect this to the Handy. Your Handy app. Binding printer. Oh, you can also skip it too. Agree. I don't know what that means. Okay, here we go. Now we're to the actual setup process. 4 screws removed. Correct. Okay, so this is going to take 29 minutes to do all this. And being a new 3D printer, there's probably going to be an update or two, so we'll probably check back in a little bit here. Ooh, I don't know what those are. I need to get these foams out of here. Come on, little hand. Okay. Calibration done, pretty uneventful. Let's see. God, this looks so clear. What's this? Insert filament. All right. So I was going to throw a TPU on there, but I don't really have any plans for TPU. I was seeing some people use the one extruder head for TPU and then the other for like PLA, and then fusing those together somehow. I'll have to see if I can get creative and figure something like that out. But for now, I'm just going to put another roll on the external spool, because I was seeing people printing like PETG and then using like PLA or whatever as the barrier between the supports and to make them come off easier. AMS connection not available. We'll just run the updates and see if that clears anything up. We'll be back. So I did the update. Now this looks a little different. Let's see if it... Place a roll of filament into each... I got it. I just had to like assign it to a nozzle. Now it's starting to load. Let's pull in the filament. Oh, it tells you the front door's open. So it wants the door closed. All right, so it's got this little like auto vent thing that pops up. So that's interesting. There's just already a lot of little random cool features going on here. Wonder if it'll stop printing. So I think it just yells at you that the door's open, but it doesn't seem to be like stopping the print. We'll try it when it's actually printing. All right, we're printing. Well, that's a goober on there. So opening the door doesn't seem to affect it. Look at that big old splooge. So this printer is faster than the Bambu X1C. It's 600 millimeters a second. I'm assuming the acceleration is faster too. I'm also curious on the print quality being a larger printer, just like the accesses and everything being stretched out. Is that gonna lose some consistency? I mean, that benchy's looking really good. So one thing I noticed is it really shakes, so it must have some pretty soft feet on the bottom there. But this benchy's looking good. See the progress bar? That's a cool little touch. A little bit of stringing going on. Benchy is done. Like, I like that indicator as well, because like if I'm across the shop, I can see that. I'm like, oh, it's done. Okay, so that apparently took 23 minutes. There we go. That's a good benchy. I don't know if it's quite as good as the X1C. Okay, I actually have a bamboo green printed on the X1C. Okay, so the one on the right is on the X1C. The one on the left is on the H2D. I don't know, they're pretty similar. Let's say the X1Cs might look a little cleaner. Like here's another one. I'm not sure which one was printed on what, but I'm assuming this was the P1S and X1C. You can see there, P1S or X1C versus H2D. Man, I want to say these ones are a tiny bit better. It's pretty minuscule. Okay, let's send something to this and do like a quick multicolor print with no poop, which is crazy. So this is going to take 3 hours and 41 minutes for Flexi snake. Sending. But overall, I'm super excited. I'll print this Flexi snake and I'll print one more thing, and then we'll close out the video and I'll put some time into this and actually get to know it. So like another random detail here is like glass, and this Bambu lab lights up. Does it matter? No, but it's just a cool little feature. The print is done. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have a Flexi snake here. Good detail throughout. Prime tower. I wonder if we could almost get away from this, especially for something like this where it's just, you know, two prints. So I'd use both nozzles. And here's the poop. So yeah. Pretty cool. So now I'm going to try to print some TPU and see how it handles that. So you have to take that tube out of the buffer back there. Okay, so it's asking me to take this tube out of this buffer. TPU inlet and put it in there. 95A high flow. Gray. Please use right extruder. Did I do that wrong? Okay, so I set the AMS up for the other extruder. All right, let me figure this out. Okay, so for whatever reason, it wouldn't let me print the TPU from the left extruder. So I had to switch the extruders around. So now the AMS is on the left extruder, and now I can run the TPU on the right extruder. Why? I have no idea. Let's try this again. Bambu. So it won't even let me. It yelled at me when I tried to load the filament. 95A high flow. So now this can get pulled out of here. So this is a little cumbersome. Okay, so this kind of sucks. I have one of them little wrench things somewhere. Could also go from the top, but the AMS is up there. Yeah, I just can't get that thing out of there. I don't want to like kink that cord. All right, hold on. Okay, I could not get that tube out of the little pushy grommet thing. We got it. Clean the nozzle before printing TPU. It's asking me to do a cold pull. That explains it here. All right, I need a piece of filament. Cold pull complete. Probably wasn't needed, but it was new with the machine, so why would I? Might as well try it. Finished. So one thing I noticed is they really broke everything down. So like every step, it's like, hey, did this happen? Confirm. Confirm. It'll do like a purge. Did you see filament come out? Yes. So it's very like beginner friendly. All right, let's print some TPU. Might have to try to print a basketball again. So I'm assuming I gotta close the door. Yep, little thing popped up. Really, I should put a dryer box that's feeding into, because it's TPU, but this is just a small print. I just wanted to try it out and see how it did TPU, because some of these printers just don't love TPU. So it's a good test. TPU print is done. It's a little stringy. I also just ran these at stock numbers. I didn't change anything. That one's on there. Quality's decent. Could be better. I also didn't dry the roll. I just took it out of the bag and put it on the printer, and I didn't change any of the settings. I just pushed print. So let's see how these supports come off. And these are golf simulator tees. I'm building a budget golf simulator right over there. So these will come in handy. See how durable they are. So these ones are tough. The other one I took apart was way easier. They're like just soft, so it's hard to get like leverage to get them. They are coming off though. There we go. So decent, but I'll have to try some softer TPU to see how it prints that, because the higher the more dense the TPU, the easier it is to print. So this is 95A high flow. So something like 85 might not print as well in here, but we'll see. So if there's anything you want me to throw at this printer or like do with it specifically, like print some helmets or any kind of thing like that, let me know and I will do that with this printer. And yeah, initially I'm super excited with this printer. It has a lot of cool features and I still don't know it all that well yet, but I'm super excited to start playing with this thing and put a bunch of hours into it. I'll get several hundred hours into it and then I'll make a follow-up video. Thanks for watching and we'll see you guys in the next one.